It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Hello, folks, and welcome to the Flying Whipper Production Studios. We are here live. I've got a new cohort tonight. This is Mike. Welcome aboard, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
We've got our trusty brother, Bob, working the backdoor scene, and I brought my old friend from work, Cartier. He used to be on radio in Chicago, WGCI. He was on 10 to 6, so if you remember the name Cartier from back in the 90s, he was the man back then. So let's get right to it. Bob, it's a culmination of what's been a very long season.
I'm already starting to have some pre-depression depression.
I know. It's just tough after football because it brings so much joy to our life for 17 weeks.
Well, yeah, and we're like a month away from March Madness. The NBA is like, 8 million years away from the finals and the playoffs, and I don't care about the NBA until we get there. And it looks like we're not going to get baseball on time.
That sucks. But we've waited this long, and the reward is here. My Cincinnati Bengals, who they think going to beat them Bengals. If you had money for them to be in the Super Bowl and win it, you're going to be very rich. I think one guy stands to win a lot of money.
Oh, is that mattress guy in Houston?
Well, he didn't pick him at the beginning of the season. He picked him to win the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago. And that kind of scares me because he's lost like the last 5 large bets he's made.
Well, he's hedging his bets. So, yeah. I mean, he's always an interesting fellow, and it's interesting. So he has to go across the border into Louisiana to place his bets, and he's got to spread his bets around because he can only bet like $400,000 at a shot, which I would love to have that problem.
Yeah. Yeah, he's quite a character. But we'll see. I hope he wins this bet for sure. So let's kind of break it down. Let's break it down.
Okay.
And then we got some prop bets that might make some people some money, or anyway, we'll have our thoughts. So, I went through it today, and I'm going to break it down to the Bear quarterback. Who's the best quarterback? Mike, your opinion?
I think they're both great, and obviously Stafford's got the experience.
Move forward there.
Stafford's got the experience in the NFL, not a lot of big game experience.
I don't know, 3 big games in a row.
Yeah. But Joe Burrow, pure talent, is definitely magic. And I think someone's already said the magic Tom Brady name, but it's a little early for that. But Burrow is going to outplay Stafford. I'm very confident.
I mean, Drew's homerness for the Bengals notwithstanding, Burrows has to stay on his feet. I think he's going to spend a lot of this game on his back. Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and the rest of that LA Ram defensive line
I agree.
is going to hurt him.
I'll go back to the original question. The 2 quarterbacks, which one would you want on your starting Super Bowl team as is right now?
No question. Joe Burrow.
In a vacuum?
Within the next 30 seconds, just a 30-minute show.
With their offensive line or by themselves?
I'm talking about right now. Your quarterback, which is the
as
better
currently constituted?
Which is a better quarterback?
Give me Stafford.
Okay. I'm going to go with Burrow, and here's why. Stafford's a proven loser. Okay. That's a fact.
Go Detroit.
No, Detroit's a proven loser. He's a proven winner in LA.
And being from Ohio, I won't say because he played most of his career in Michigan. I won't say that, but the guy's never really won a big game. This is a big game, okay? He did have some talent in Detroit. He had Calvin Johnson. He had some talented teams. He couldn't take them next level. So in my mind, I've got Joe Burrow, who took LSU on his back and won. So he's a big game guy. He won a national championship, and I believe you can fact check it.
Fine, he played well in college.
He was an underdog. And he's played well in the NFL.
He's played pretty well in the NFL.
The guy just came back from an ACL injury. He should be most valuable, not the most valuable player, but he should be the most improved.
Trivia question. Which quarterback has won more playoff games, Joe Burrow or Matt Stafford?
Matt Stafford.
Wrong. They both won the same number of playoff games. They both won 3.
That was a trick question.
And how many years has, again, to my point, how many years has Stafford been in the league?
Right.
Okay, how many weapons does Stafford have?
He's got a lot, so he's got no excuses. We'll get to that.
OBJ?
Yeah, he's got no excuses.
Cooper Kupp's the best receiver in football this year, hands down.
Yes, I mean, you can't dispute it. But let's go on. You guys will take Burrows. I'm taking Stafford. Stafford's going to throw up better stats than Burrows was.
I would like to make a quick comment about the previous game when everyone watched Kansas City up 21-3. How many people thought that Cincinnati was going to come back and win that game? And I'm going to give a lot of credit to the quarterback.
How many plays did Joe Burrows play on defense for the Bengals?
Whatever.
Well, let me ask you this. How many times did Burrows land on his back on the road?
Against the Titans? 9.
9. So the guy can lay on his back and still win football games. He can stay upright and win football games. He went on the road twice and took his team to victory. Stafford has had definitely, you got to admit, an easier route to the Super Bowl than Joe Burrow.
Oh,
don't tell me.
So they played San Francisco.
San Francisco.
They beat the Falcons.
Juggernaut that is.
I'm not the Falcons. The
Buccaneers, the reigning Super Bowl champions,
and then the
being
Cardinals.
quarterbacked by the GOAT
and the Cardinals.
and the Cardinals.
Yeah, those are 3 legitimate foes.
Yeah, but to your point, Drew, the Bengals had a more impressive run, which nobody expected. They are the Cinderella team. LA Rams are the team that everyone expected to be exactly where they are.
Yeah, that's so.
I don't know about a lot of people picked them to win the Super Bowl.
A lot of people did.
I think Tampa Bay and Green Bay were definitely picked ahead of this team.
I don't think so. If you look at the Super Bowl props to start the season, this was all in for LA. They got Stafford, they got Von Miller,
OBJ mid-season.
You got Sony Michel, you got Cam Akers. This is an all-in year. And nothing less than a Super Bowl going into the season was going to be a disappointment.
They don't have a first-round pick until 2024.
Yeah, I mean, this is all in. This is an all-in year.
Yeah, but at the end of the year, clearly people were picking Green Bay and Tampa over Rams. I'd give Rams number 3.
Bob may be able to do the preseason Vegas odds. You may be wrong on that.
Well, I don't know about the preseason, but I'm talking about as we are approaching the playoffs. Certainly, Green Bay and Tampa were considered the 1-2.
I'm talking about to start the season.
Yeah, okay, to start the season.
I can't remember, but that far back.
But we do agree on something tonight.
What's that?
We agree on Joe Burrows,
but you're both wrong.
Offensive line. Okay, clearly the offensive line goes to the LA Rams.
Well, am I looking for a screen door for my house or an actual steel door?
Yeah, I mean, our offensive line sucks.
Yeah, it has some issues.
And, I love Ohio State, but that offensive lineman, Prince, he's sorry, Mom. He's terrible. Yeah, he is terrible. So,
what position on the line does he play?
He's offensive lineman.
Which position, though?
I believe he's the right tackle. Man, you're asking me too many hard questions.
Well, I think it's the left guard that protects the quarterback's blind side. Am I correct?
Hey, this offensive line, it's patchwork. And what really hurts is Andrew Whitworth, I believe his name is. He went to the Rams. I believe he plays with the Rams now. He's an all-pro. Fact check that if you could. Andrew Whitworth, he's an all-pro for the Rams. And we lost him to free agency when we were doing one of our many rebuilds.
What's the question about Whitworth?
What position he plays for? Is he
tackle for
the Rams, right? Yeah. Incredible stud, all-pro. We lost him in free agency when we did one of our many rebuilds. He would have been a great guy to protect Burrows right now. But so I think we're all in agreement. The offensive line edge.
Yeah, I haven't really analyzed that. I think apparently capable enough to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But yeah, as far as top offensive lines in the league, I wouldn't put them near the top.
No, as a matter of fact, I think they led the league in quarterback sacks. So,
right. Yeah, and giving up 9 sacks to the Titans is not a good start.
Our offensive line sucks. The defensive line, I got to put the edge to LA. Mm-hmm. They've got Donald. They're going to put heat on Burrows, but I got ways that we can fix that.
Yeah, I mean the defensive backs in the secondary may be vulnerable to Burrows coming out and throwing out his proverbial backside.
Let's stick to the defensive line. We're going to get there.
Okay.
So defensive line, I got the edge to LA. Would you agree with that, Bob?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question there.
Anybody disagrees with anything we're saying, hit the like button and then put in your comments. Linebackers, I give the edge to LA again. We do have Hendrickson on the defensive line. He can be a disruptor, but I think overall, linebacker, you got Von Miller. They're going to be setting him up all over the field. He could give Burrows a very long day.
Yeah, he can, but I mean, for me, Von Miller has ended up being more of a situational player. He hasn't been the force that Aaron Donald has. Aaron Donald's been a force.
Before we go any further, what beer do I have tonight?
I think it was Bush.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Here we go.
We've got Bush.
Oh, hello, pie.
Well, you have Bush. I don't know if I would call that beer.
We've got Bush. I love that movie, Revenge of the Nerds. I think I've seen it 100 times. I'm going to give the linebacker edge, though. At the end of the day, I'm going to give it to LA.
Give it to the Rams, yeah.
Now, opportunistic-wise, I mean, Bengals have proven we bend, but we don't break, you know? I mean, they're averaging they're only giving up about 17 points a game in this playoffs, which
absolutely,
is phenomenal.
And Burrows can succeed against the zone, and LA Rams mainly plays zone.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that Jalen Ramsey has been lobbying to play Jamar Chase man to man, and I'm like, Ramsey, shut the hell up.
Yeah. Don't get.
You are not a defensive coordinator. Shut up.
You may not want that. Defensive backs, I'm going to give the edge to the Bengals. Very opportunistic interceptions when they need it, led by Ohio State alum Eli Apple. I'm going to give the edge defensive back wise to my Bengals.
Okay.
Thoughts? Don't care.
I think the Rams are better on defense top to bottom.
But now I do have a fun stat for you. What team has led the league giving up broken tackles for more yardage than anyone in the NFL?
Oh, it's the Rams.
The Rams.
I mean, that was the stat going into the conference championship game, that the 49ers were great yards after catch between Debo and Kittle.
They don't tackle well.
Exactly.
They give up yards after catch.
And that's a soft thing. That's soft.
So what I'm thinking here is if Burrows can have enough time, he throws the ball 2.5-second release time, give him 3.5 seconds. Give my man 3 seconds after he touches the ball to release the ball.
Yep, that's the title of my college sex tape as well.
Yeah. And if you do that, you win the game, because then you got T. Higgins, you got Boyd, you got Uzama, who said he's going to come back and play. You've got, obviously, Jamar Chase. You've got those weapons that can make and break a tackle. And we also found out something interesting last week. Joe Burrows can break a tackle.
And
Burrows is the sexy choice.
Yeah, and I like Joe Mixon. I think he's a key. He could be a key to the game. He's a rugged dude. He could run. I'm not going to say he's going to get 100.
Yeah.
But he's a very viable option in the backfield. And with those great receivers, he doesn't have to be a superstar in that game and for them to win. They can run the ball.
Yeah.
That was an interesting stat that the catches after pass. I mean, the
yards after catch. Yeah.
Two quarterbacks lead the league in over 30 yards average per pass after catch.
Yep.
Guess who that is?
I'm going to assume it's Burrows.
And?
Matt
Stafford. Isn't that something? So you got two guys that, it's going to be a battle du jour. I think that Burrows is so composed under pressure that he'll throw the ball away. Stafford can make some mistakes, and he can make them very quickly. There was a game earlier in the season against the Niners, I believe it was. He gave up a quick 14, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and I don't like how the Rams looked in the second half against the Buccaneers. I don't know whether that was Tampa Bay adjusting or the Rams sort of imploding. You have a ball that gets coughed up by Cooper Kupp. Yeah. You have another ball that gets coughed up by Cam Akers. Those are problems for me.
They have a hands problem. They have a quarterback interception problem potentially. Makes it such an intriguing game. Coaching wise, I give the edge to Sean McVay.
Oh, he's a wunderkind.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Our coach, they wanted to fire him 2 years ago. Now he's the boy wonder, but he kept the team together. They've responded well to him. But the fact that McVay, I just give the coaching edge, and for the experience, mostly from the experience factor.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's where I am hoping it comes down to. I think top to bottom, the Rams are a more experienced, more mature team than the Bengals.
A team with Odell Beckham, you're calling more mature?
He's been more mature the last half a season.
Good point.
He's kind of come to be what we thought he could be.
Yeah, he's bought in
before he started proposing to like kickers nets. But no, and he was, what was the one game where he threw for a touchdown?
Yes.
So I know I said this going into the game against the Chiefs that the Bengals had pretty much run the course and run the table and gone as far as they went.
Ass whooping, I believe.
I believe I did say
I think
ass
you said
whooping.
you feared for his life in that game.
I did fear for his life in that game, and the first half looked really, really bad. I said it last week. My hat's off to the Bengals defensive coordinator for adjusting in that second half. Mahomes looked like he was injured.
Yeah.
He looked bad in the second half.
Well, they put that spotter on him, and that guy chased him around, and he just couldn't get loose. Special teams, I got the edge going to the Bengals. That kicker is...
I love McPherson. Is it McPherson?
Yeah, he's
the real
stud,
deal.
isn't he?
He's excellent.
I mean, that guy's probably... I mean, right after Burrows, he is. He's the reason we're there.
Okay.
You know?
I mean, he'll kick you a field goal when you get stalled in the red zone and give you 3 versus 7.
And I don't know if you have any stats for red zone defense for both teams, like how many touchdowns they give up in the red zone. What's that red zone stat? Because I think that's critical. Obviously, in a big game, one game, how are you going to perform in the red zone? Are you going to give up field goals or touchdowns?
Well, the Bengals have not scored well at all.
Cincinnati, for scoring, Cincinnati is 20th in the red zone. The Rams are 17th.
Pretty close. How about defensively?
That's what I'm trying to find.
I'm going to guess that the Rams have an edge.
One would think.
What about
LA Rams are 12th. Cincinnati is 16th. So
and fairly close. And what's the advantage? There's got to be an advantage for the Rams playing in SoFi.
Well,
there has to be, irrespective of the amount of fans.
Can you pull up my thing I sent you message-wise?
You're used to the stadium. You're living it in your home
field advantage.
Yeah, it's got to be a slight advantage. I'm not saying it's going to make a difference.
Well, you would think so, but how about this? Don't you love that?
What's that? Hey, Joe, I've got home field advantage.
So did these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do love
Joe's not afraid. He's not afraid.
He's unafraid. The guy just seems fearless to me.
Oh, my God. This is the Joe Burrow's Love Fest podcast.
Oh, I love the guy.
Well, that's the guy.
Well, you're a Bengals homer. I get that about you.
Yeah, but you know what? I call it as it is, and I'll tell you where it's bad. But this game could almost be Brady-like. I'm not going to go that far and say it's Brady, but if this kid comes and just performs on this stage and wins this game against what I would say is not heavily favored, but 4.5 is a lot of points. Brady-esque, who has had a 13-point underdog Super Bowl win, we can start talking with this offensive line. With this team, if they get an offensive line, this could be and keep their nucleus together, this could be a perennial Super Bowl contender.
This could be a repeat. Yeah, the 0-1 Patriots. I mean, that's the kind of game that you're talking about. That was the coming out party for Brady before Brady was Brady.
And this could be Burrows.
It could be.
Or it could be Marino, and we never see him in a Super Bowl again.
It could possibly be that. The AFC is stacked top to bottom, which I don't understand why the pundits are talking about Rodgers going to the Broncos.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be in the AFC.
Yeah.
All the young quarterbacks are in the AFC, and the elder statesmen quarterbacks are in the NFC.
Well, I think it's a tougher road to the Super Bowl through the NFC, especially now with why not go to Tampa Bay? Why not go to? But that's for another show.
Yeah, but I don't. We could talk about during the offseason. I don't think Rodgers will land in Tampa Bay.
Pressure to win. Which team has the pressure to win?
The Rams. The Rams have to because they are all in. Like, they don't have a first-round draft pick to 2024.
Yeah.
They have bet the farm and the adjoining parcel of land on winning the Super Bowl.
This is it. This is their one chance. And they went all in. They pushed all those chips in. The Bengals, there's no pressure. I'm sure the coaches tell them, go out there, have fun. No one expects us to win. Let's surprise them like we have everybody else.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, do the Rams come out like they did against the Buccaneers, put a whole crap ton of points down, and basically piss it away in the second half and let the Bengals come back in? I mean, the Bengals are not going to get put off by the Rams jumping out to a big lead, I don't think.
Yeah, which harkens back to my keys to winning. If I can just indulge myself and see what y'all think. Here's my LA keys to winning. This is what LA has to do. And we talked about some of it. They can't fumble the ball. And they have a fumble problem. Stafford can't have a meltdown. Just where he has 2 or 3 bad series and he's throwing interceptions.
Okay.
And then on defense, they have to pressure Burrows. So if they do those things, don't fumble the ball, Stafford doesn't have a meltdown, and they pressure Burrows, they win the game.
Okay, Captain Obvious.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty simple for a talented team like LA, you would think.
Yeah, I mean, all things being equal, if the teams play to their capability, to their average capability, the Rams win this game. Because the Rams can win this game more than just on Stafford's shoulders. They have Akers there. They have Sean McVay, the wunderkind on offensive play calling. You have Kupp. You have everybody else on that offense. They can win by a whole bunch of different ways. The Bengals win one way, and that's Burrows playing out of his backside. Burrows has to play out of his backside to win. If the Bengals win, Burrows is your MVP, and he's passed for between 350 and 450 yards.
Well,
and 4 touchdowns.
I like the way you're thinking. This was my Bengals keys to win. Did you have anything to add to that?
Well, just a quick comment is the chemistry between Joe and Jamar Chase. Is it Jamar?
Yeah, Jamar.
It's amazing. This is a rookie, and Burrow is a second-year guy.
Yeah.
This is a critical component to the game. Chase could get 3 touchdowns himself. But I don't know about the 450. Does he have to get 450? I don't know. Does he have to throw for 4? I say at least 3. Jamar Chase can get 3 by himself. Mixon gets 2.
Burrows needs. I want to hear your keys for the Bengals, but Burrows needs to play out of his ass.
Right. Don't forget about T. Higgins, Boyd, Azamu's coming back, I believe. So keys to win. Captain Obvious, keep Burrows up. If you keep him up, he can throw the ball. Roll Burrows. We saw now that Burrows can actually move out of the pocket and get some downfield leverage. I think if he stands back there, he's going to be in trouble. But if they do rollouts where he can run, pass, throw it away, run out of bounds, they got to move Burrows around.
Okay.
Uzama, who said he's going to play, and I love the fact he said, I'm going to be out there, and I hope he is. Him and Mixon, they need to be speed bumps for Donald and Von Miller. In other words, Mixon needs to be right in front of Joe Burrows while he's throwing. He's the speed bump. You get the tight ends, you pull them in. We need an offensive line where our tight ends are pulled in. They're basically an extra offensive lineman. Roll Burrows out, give him options, because if he's standing back there, they're probably going to blitz him. It's going to be a long day. And I think Mixon probably won't get a lot of carries. If he can get 12 to 15 carries, give me 70 yards. Actually, if he can give me 50 yards, I'd be happy.
Yeah, the over-under for Mixon rushing yards is 62.5.
Yeah, and that's a fair number. And I would say it's probably going to be lower than
They
that.
don't have a numbers for over-under for carries, do they?
16 and a half rushes.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, like you said, they got it. Burrows has to sling it, and Mixon has to be back there to help protect. And if they do that and give the kid time.
Well, let's say this. Let's say they double team Chase, which I think would be prudent, and that maybe frees up another receiver. But I think, again, I'm going to say it again. I think Mixon, if Chase is double teamed and being limited, I think Mixon could have a huge game. Well, just a gut feeling. Well, Mixon could have a huge game.
Yeah, but remember the Rams play mainly a zone for coverage. They mainly play zone coverage.
Yeah, I think Mixon. I can see what you're saying. I think he's basically going to be a decoy. He's going to be the guy that protects Burrow. He's the last line of defense. And I think if they double team Chase, give me Tyler Boyd, give me T. Higgins. I mean, we got other weapons. T. Higgins is no slouch.
Yeah, and Burrow will get the ball to them.
And he will. My other key is on defense, we're going to have to force turnovers, and we've done that. We're going to have to be that bend but don't break defense. We're going to have to let Stafford go on a 7-play drive, and then when he gets inside the 30, he fumbles it or turns it over. So we're going to have to play opportunistic defense, which is Captain Obvious. And then third, our special teams is going to have to shine. Maybe a punt run back. We know our kicker, if you can get him inside the 50, it's, knock on wood, it's been automatic. So those are basically my keys to the game. Having said that, I'm curious. The score has changed in my mind from 44 to 31 to 21 to 17, but I finally have settled on a score. I believe that the score is in the 20s. If the Bengals can keep these guys in the 20s, they win the game. But at the end of the day, oh God.
While you're thinking about that, what was the final in the Chiefs game? It was 21-3, obviously. What was the final? It was pretty high.
20, what was it, 30, 27-24?
27-24?
I think so.
And they shut down the Chiefs in the second half.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, they did. They adjusted.
Yeah. And see, I don't know why, but I got a feeling, and this doesn't sound it's going to be happening, this could be a high-scoring game. You would think not. What's the over/under? 50?
48 and a half.
See, it's a low number.
Yeah,
I could see a lot of points being scored in this game.
I know
I can actually see that.
It's really weird. It's tough. While you're doing that, can we take the 10-year challenge for the Cowboys? So if you guys haven't done this before, you've seen the 10-year challenge. This is a team that won't be in there.
Yeah, and talking about running it back, Jerry Jones, this season was an incredible disappointment, but let's have the same coaching staff for next season. Yeah, let's see how that turns out for you, Jerry.
Score?
Yeah, let me ponder that for a minute. I'm going to pick the Bengals to win the game, and I wouldn't be surprised. I'll give you a number. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals scored 30 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do they cover the 4.5?
If they win the game, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking the over. It's going to be a high-scoring game. If the Bengals win, it has to be a high-scoring game. If the Bengals win, it is going to crush the over.
It makes sense.
But you can poo-poo Stafford in the big game, you guys. I think Stafford's going to be solid. I think McVay's going to be solid. I think they're going to come out. They have more weapons. They have more ways to win. I think it's 35-17 Rams.
Wow.
Pretty easy win.
They hold the Bengals 17. That's impressive. If the score remains low, if the Bengals keep the game in the 20s, they win 29-24. If they don't keep it in the 20s and it's higher, the Rams win 41-34.
That's a high score, yeah.
The key is the Bengals have to keep that potent LA offense. They have to hold them in check. They just have to. The defense has to play the game of their life. The offensive line has to play the game of their life. The quarterback has to play the game of his life.
Okay, so what is your pick, Drew? I mean, we already got Mike's.
Well, he's going to pick the Bengals.
No, he's already said he has to.
I haven't been picking the Bengals, and if I do, they'll lose. LA 41, Bengals 34.
That's high scoring.
Okay. And then
the LA Rams almost cover the 48.5 line
All by themselves.
all by themselves.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to a couple quick ones. Quarterback with most passing yards, Burrows or Stafford? Quick, no discussion. Mike?
Burrow. Yeah, definitely.
Stafford. Okay. I'm going to set the over-under for quarterbacks with 300 yards passing or more at 1.5. You going to take the over that both quarterbacks get 300 yards?
Over.
Yeah, I think both will go over 300. Yeah. I just feel like there's going to be an offensive game.
Yeah. Okay.
Which doesn't seem probable with that Ram defense, but
I'm actually going to take the under because I'm going to be the contrarian and say that.
Are you ever not the fucking contrarian?
That's my job.
I got it.
Okay, are we going to get somebody with 100 yards rushing?
No.
Knowing that I was pulling up the projections.
No. Because the Rams are a double threat with Sony Michel, great Super Bowl experience. Yeah. He's been there, done it, and Cam Akers. They could both combine for 100 yards, but they won't get it.
And that's actually the projection. The projection right now is 65 rushing yards for Akers and 35 for Sony Michel. On the Bengals side, it's 55 for Mixon and 10.
I'll tell you what, for all your prop bets, if I had a way to do it, I would take the bet that no one rushes over 100 yards.
Even as a team. Yeah. How about this? If Joe,
as a team, some team might.
If Joe Mixon rushes for 100 yards, Bengals definitely win.
Oh, yeah. Because that's going to open up the pass.
It's a big if.
But he's not.
Yeah.
Someone with 100 yards receiving, and I think you both going to go
Jamar Chase is going to get 250 yards. He's going to blow up.
Okay, Captain Hyperbole.
Yeah, he's going to blow up.
Even if he's double teamed?
He's not going to blow up.
We don't know that. We don't know that if they double team him, but I think those guys got the kind of chemistry. They'll figure something out. He's still going to, he won't get 250. He'll get a touchdown in 140.
He's projected at 105. Cooper Kupp is projected at 105.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a contrarian. I'm going to go with T. Higgins because there's so much attention going to be paid to all these guys. I want Jamar Chase. Let me cover him. T. Higgins is no slouch.
Okay.
The guy's a flat-out baller.
Fair enough.
And you cannot ignore him.
And I think Cooper Kupp's going to have a fine game.
He'll be fine.
Here's my favorite one. Are we going to have a scoring drive that takes less time than the national anthem?
I mean, they're both quick.
The anthem is projected, and there is a prop bet out there for the length of the anthem. I think the over-under is 94 seconds. It depends on who's
singing it.
Well, the over-under is 94, so they're predicting the anthem to be right around a buck 30. I don't know.
Because it's one of these new freaking singers that has to, like a Mariah Carey, the shit, just the,
Grammy Award nominated country music artist Mickey. Oh, please stop! I'm turning your microphone off.
I can drive that shit out, man.
They always have someone great singing.
The over under is 94 seconds. So are we going to?
Because it's a country singer, under market. Yeah, that's another bet.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, but what's on the screen? A scoring drive that takes less time than the anthem.
Too potent, offensive, capable. If I had a gun in my head, I'd say there will be a quick play. So I'm going to go.
I would say unlikely, but if there's a deep in someone else's territory, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I
one play.
It's a safe bet for me that we will have one that is going to last less than a minute 30 on the clock.
I won't take that bet, but it certainly could happen. But I'm not taking that one.
Coin toss, Mike.
What do I pick? Heads or tails?
Yeah, that's a coin.
Tails never fails. Tails never fails.
No, heads win 60% of the time. If you don't believe me out there in fan land, flip a coin 10 times. It'll be at least 6 times heads.
Okay. And what is the point spread going to be at halftime without going over? You don't have to pick who's winning, just the spread.
After the
at halftime.
So the game's already played a half, and we're
one half.
3 points. It'll be 3 points.
Oh, the point spread.
3 or less.
Who's winning?
You want to know who's winning? Bengals.
Well, no, I mean the spread.
I think if LA, do you think LA is going to be ahead?
Oh God, yes.
So if you think LA is going to be ahead, then it's going to be probably a pick 'em.
So you think it's straight up? If
you think LA's
they're
ahead,
tied,
it'll be a pick 'em.
They're tied at halftime.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't be surprised. I would say 3 points or less. Yeah, it's going to be very close, I think.
I'll say pick 'em.
14.
Oh, blowout.
14.
14 points.
After you mean
At
the
halftime.
halftime line will be 14?
So I am all in on the LA Rams, and I think they will be leading this game by 14 at half.
Oh, who you think's going to be leading? I thought you with the point spread.
No, not the betting line spread.
Oh, okay.
What's the point spread
Gotcha.
between winning and losing team at halftime?
So I think at halftime the Bengals will be down by 9.
9. I say 14. Mike, do you understand the bet now?
Halftime?
Halftime. What's the spread between the winning and losing team at halftime?
Yeah, I think it's going to be 3 or less.
Okay.
Okay.
So to your point and what I just said, if you think they're up 14 and I think they're going to be up 9, that'd be in LA. I think at halftime it would be Pick'em or Bengals or actually LA -1.
Yeah.
Who knows? It'll all be settled this time next week.
And
you're going to be turning back all the tape because I'm going to be calling you saying, can you rewind what I said and I was right?
yeah, probably. Yeah. And to your point, this is interesting, and this is more Cowboy fan baiting. So sorry, Cowboys fans. Joe Burrow has more playoff wins in 2020 than Dak Prescott, Tony Romo, and the entire Dallas Cowboys $6 billion franchise has in the last 27 years.
Ouch.
I love it.
What is the one consistent thing in the Cowboys' inability to have postseason success in the last 27 years?
A guy named Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, baby.
Well, do we have anything else to talk about?
Well, I mean, for all you baseball fans out there, put out your prayers that the labor and management get to some agreement, because it looks like we are starting spring training late, and I think a start of the season on April 1 is in jeopardy.
We're in big trouble, kids. And I love baseball.
There's a lot of money, so I think they're going to figure something out.
Yeah. That's funny. Did they figure shit out 2 years ago when they could have started on July 4th? No.
Millionaires
Big
fighting over
egos.
millions.
No, billionaires fighting over billions. I wish I was a Major League Baseball owner. Anyway.
Well, folks, we're going to have it all settled next week. Thank you so much. Again, we're on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Have we been kicked off Twitter yet?
We haven't been kicked off Twitter yet because I'm not posting very, very much.
Have you got us kicked off Spotify yet?
We are not kicked off Spotify.
You are Joe Rogan Jr. over there, man.
I am not Joe Rogan Jr. Thank you very much. I'm not going to put Malone on this podcast.
Love Joe Rogan. Love Joe Rogan.
All right, we'll talk politics later, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Okay, and we are
and
out.
As always, OH.
Yeah, okay, we're out.